G'day! Today, as promised, I'm going to talk about the kids' schooling as it's been going, well, pretty much since April of last year. Started off, well, the pandemic, COVID-19, closed down all the schools, and the kids had to do homeschooling or distance learning or whatever it wanted to be called at the time. So the kids would have like a Zoom call maybe once or twice a week, and they'd be given packets of work that needed to be done, and there wasn't any real direction, and they had very limited time with their teachers. And by the end of the school year, Kaathlyn, my ever so lovely wife, had decided that she wanted to create a better curriculum for the kids, and make sure that they got a proper structured education at home. So she began setting this up. She decided that she was going to do it at my mother-in-law's office because there's enough room there for all the kids to have computers and be set up, do stuff. And generally my mother-in-law only sees her patients in the evening anyway. So that's the beginnings of it all. So Kaathlyn began to look at curriculums, look at different programs that were online to do this. Now, during this time, we had another couple of kids who wanted to join our homeschool pod. One was Chiana's best friend, and the other was another friend of the family. Chiana's best friend is about the same age as Chiana, and this other girl, she's about the same age as Eric. So it sort of worked out there. Now, the kids got to choose the name for the school. And it was a little bit contentious at the beginning because the boys wanted to call it Meme Class. It was memes, and it's the thing that's on at the moment. And the girls wanted to call it the League of Villains. So they had a vote. I think there were like 5 names they could choose from. The boys put Meme Class as their number 1 and League of Villains as their number 5, and the girls vice versa. But both, or all of them, had decided that their second choice was Chaos Academy. Thus, Chaos Academy was born. And the boys now are still part of a subclass called Meme Class, and the girls are known as the League of Villains. So Kaathlyn is a very organised person and really set out a schedule for the kids. So this includes things like Zumba every week for their physical exercise. She knew a retired professional artist who would come in and do art classes with the kids. And some of the work they're doing is phenomenal too. She's also organised people around to help them with reading. Like the elder girls, they've got another friend of the family, Diane, who's going through Anne Frank's diary at the moment for them. And in fact, because of that, on my Oculus, I got the Anne Frank's house, so they can look at it on the Oculus there. Kaathlyn's also done a lot of research and signed the kids up for an online school curriculum called Time for Learning, in which they log in each day to do their maths, social science, language arts and science. They also perform science projects in the school as well. Kathlyn's done a lot of research and buys the different ingredients and stuff required for that. with the younger 4 kids, this curriculum has been approved wholeheartedly by their school. And in fact, Kathleen has regular one-on-one meetings with their school teachers and gives other progress reports and examples of the work that they're doing, just so they get that credit for what they're meant to be doing and keeping up with the schoolwork. And all the kids are just doing so well at that. Also, the younger 4 kids recently went on a field trip to Reno in Nevada. They took the train there rather than driving, and so it was a nice 3-hour trip, and along the way they were taught and read about the Donner Party, which is that famous group of people that went over the Sierra Nevada mountains and made their way to Oregon, the Oregon Trail as it's otherwise known, and ended up eating each other. So, interesting thing. Yeah, as I mentioned, the kids are just doing so well under this homeschool pod type thing. Now, Zdeněk initially was having issues with his high school and what they were trying to do with their remote teaching. So what he's just recently done is he's got a transcript from his school, and in fact he got that in earlier today, and he's done 150 credits out of the 245 that he needs to graduate. Now he's finished his physical education credits and a couple of others, so he now knows what he just needs to do to graduate high school. And over the rest of this year, that's what he's going to be studying on, working on, getting those credits as quickly as he possibly can, because he wants to graduate early. He's also decided that he's going to be going to Sierra Nevada College, which is nearby, thankfully, and he wants to learn, well, at the moment, forensic psychology, of all things. He's changed his mind so many times on what he wants to do, but he's got a goal in mind and he's really working hard to that, and I'm so proud of him for that. He even has a writing teacher that's helping him construct better essays and reports and all that as well. Although his grandmother, Jana, my mother-in-law, she's sort of helping him on this task. He's getting a lot of help there. Now, Eric, wow. He was meant to be doing grade 3 this year, and he found it too easy. So he was put onto the grade 4 lessons, which he really enjoys. He's able to race through those, and he's doing so well at them. The only problem one that he has is social studies, because it's a lot of reading that's involved. But his maths, language, art and science, he's just doing so well on those. So I help him out usually every week with his social studies. Now, he's going through all of this so fast that he's very likely to begin starting grade 5 work before the end of the school year. So needless to say that what we've decided is to keep homeschooling Eric once the pandemic has opened and schools have reopened, for the main reason that he's got his own pace, he goes through it very quickly and he doesn't get bored with it, which is the big problem that I had when I was at school, is that I'd be taught the lesson, I'd understood it, could do all the examples and tests on it, but of course for other students the teacher had to keep teaching it for the next couple of weeks, and I'd begin tuning out and get bored of it all. So for Eric, he's got a similar type of eidetic memory that I used to have, and yeah, he just soaks up knowledge like a sponge, and what he wants to learn, he looks it up on YouTube or Googles it. He's been able to do that since he was young. In fact, he taught himself to read at like the age of 2 or 3 by YouTube videos. Now, one thing that you might think that the kids are missing out on with all this homeschooling and all that are hanging out with peers and friends. Now, this is not the case, as Kathleen is really making sure that they all have active social lives. Like Eric, he's almost every weekend hanging out or socialising with other kids his own age. Kathleen organises play dates and things like that. And Chiana, she organises her own social life and activities. And even Zdeněk, he's got his own online group of friends that he socialises with, plays World of Warcraft with, even plays Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And that's another thing that we've been doing with the kids, well, up until late last year, is that every Friday afternoon they would come around here after they'd done their academics that morning, and we'd do game theory and Dungeons and Dragons. I'd run a D&D game for the kids, which would teach them cooperation, maths, critical thinking, all that type of stuff as well, and that was going really, really well. So that's Chaos Academy. And again, I can't give Kathleen enough credit on all of this. You've probably seen online her almost daily posts about what the kids did in school that day. All the parents of the kids, well, the ones that aren't in the pod, they get a weekly email just to say what's going on the next week as well. Everyone is kept up to date, and the kids are just so, well, they're excelling. They really are. I can't stress that enough. So while the pandemic, the schools closing and all that has been really tough on a lot of us, Kathleen really has stepped up and taken on this monumentous task as the principal of Chaos Academy, and has just done so well. In fact, she's still able to do her own Zumba classes of a morning and make sure that everyone is up to date, as I mentioned, and the kids are not falling behind or anything like that. So there's Chaos Academy for you in, well, just over 13 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hey, and even leave a comment just to let Kathleen know that she is doing a great job, because I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. All right, take care. And if you've got any other ideas for topics you want me to discuss, hey, drop me a line, let me know. And you know I enjoy waffling on, so here you go. Oh, and one thing that I should have mentioned right at the beginning of this is that I do have a little bit of a script that I was following. So if you remember my D&D comment from yesterday, well, when you know when I've got stuff written down that you're in trouble. Hopefully it wasn't too much trouble. Bye.